3-2 in true road games this year on a 5-game winning streak entering today's game. Leading things off and playing shortstop is Isa Torres. Jay Beecham, third base, batting second. Batting third is Kennedy Harp, the center fielder. Catching, batting fourth, Michaela Edenfield. Katie Deck, the designated player, will bat fifth. Batting sixth, Haley Waycaser, the right fielder. Left fielder, batting seventh, Janai Kerr. Batting eighth is the first baseman, Amaya Ross. And batting ninth, the starting pitcher, Ashton Danley. Appearing in the field, but not in the batting lineup, is the second baseman, Annie Potter. And they'll face in the circle for Alabama, the right-handed sophomore from Phoenix, Arizona, Jocelyn Brisky. Brisky on the year with a 2.21 ERA, a 9-7 record, 21st appearance, 13th start of the season. She has 2 complete games. She's pitched 76 innings, 66 hits, 39 runs, 24 earned. She's walked 40, struck out 58. Opponents batting .224 against Brisky on the year. That concludes the Alabama Softball pregame report presented by the Alabama Department of Public Health. First pitch is next here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. Welcome back to Rhodes Stadium. Alabama and Florida State about to get underway. Gave you the Alabama Power starting lineup for Florida State. Defensively for the Crimson Tide, Papillo is in left, Vandegrift in center, Pruitt in right, Ellisett at third, Hawkins at short, Heavlin at second, Dukeshire at first, with Giles behind the plate catching Brisky. Caitlin Riley is the DP, and Gray already went over Brisky's numbers, but what will be her keys here today, and what does she do well that's going to do well against Florida State?
Well, I think the drop is going to be fairly effective today. You know, Florida State has had a little bit more trouble against down versus up. And I think one thing we haven't really seen from her a lot, she's got to effectively mix speeds. The changeup has kind of been non-existent the last few outings. If that's a pitch she has strong tonight, she can perform really well.
Isa Torres to lead things off, and here comes the first pitch to the lefty, a tie for ball one. Torres on the year, batting .433. 45 of 104, 32 runs scored, 4 doubles, a triple, 6 homers, and 25 runs driven in. The 1-0. Called strike, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, Torres has struggled in the last 5 games, hitting .222, but this year against SEC teams, Tom, a .636 batting average, 7 for 11, 0 for 3 in her career against Bama.
The 1-1. Comes in a bit low, 2 balls and 1 strike.
And you're going to see Florida State as a team take a lot tonight. They are very patient. They always create great plans with Travis Wilson and that coaching staff. I think they're going to be really selective this first time through.
2-1. That hits the outside corner for a called strike, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Umpires for today's ball game, David Irwin is behind home plate with Jim Cooper at first and Aaron Golden, the third base umpire. Brisky looks in. Here comes the 2-2. High chopper. Gets over Brisky's head. Heavlin will make the play on the charge, but won't have a throw, and that's going to be an infield single for Torres to start things off. Just really not a whole lot that either Brisky or Heavlin could do about that one.
No, I mean, that's kind of a bummer because you're exactly right. It's about a foot too high for Brisky to go get it and a foot too short for Heavlin to go get it. Good job, though, not trying to do too much. Just eat it. It's all right.
Jay Beecham steps in. The first pitch to her is a called strike. Beecham on the year, batting .402, 37 of 92, 30 runs scored with 4 doubles. Leads the team with 9 homers and has 28 runs driven in.
And we know how good she is from the FGCL days.
The 0-1. Called strike. No balls and 2 strikes on her.
She is the ACC Player of the Week because in the last 5, she's hitting .688, 11 for 16, 5 RBIs, 3 homers, 3 walks, 8 runs scored in the 2 spot.
The 0-2 pitch. Oh, almost got her to chase one in the dirt, but she didn't go. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The first inning is presented by the Alabama Department of Public Health. Crimson Tide fans are reminded to stay up to date with all recommended vaccinations, including respiratory virus vaccines.
See if you go back hard in on the 1-2.
Here it comes. It's an off-speed pitch that Beecham barely gets a piece of, stays alive at 1-2.
Well, the thing that impressed us the most about Jay Beecham in the FGCL was she was the best hitter out there as a rising college freshman.
Right.
She's a very, very tough out.
The 1-2. Beecham with a fly ball to center. But that's going to be playable. Vandegrift ranges over. She'll make the catch for out number 1.
So you can kind of see the plan against Beecham. We'll see what adjustment she makes next time. But in, change up, kind of back in. You know, that leaked over just a little bit, but it was down and in. And good job by Brisky making sure that Jay Beecham doesn't hurt you.
So 1 out now with a runner on first. Kennedy Harp is the batter. Right-handed hitting center fielder. First pitch. Touch inside for ball 1. Hart batting .489.
Oh.
44 of 90. 38 runs scored. 6 doubles. 9 triples with 7 homers. Leads the team with 40 RBIs.
Oh, I got stuff on her.
Just absurd. The 1-0. Ground ball to third. Elistad has it and will make the throw to first to get the out. The big second out, and there's 2 gone.
And I will hold that stuff for next time because that's just a great job by Brisky. She's locating very well early. You know, that's another that looked like kind of an inside rise. In on the hands, jam Kennedy Harp. And I really like that Elistad didn't try and do too much there. No try to double play, just get the out at first.
So 2 outs now with a runner on second. Michaela Edenfield to the plate. Right-handed hitting catcher. First pitch is popped up on the infield, left-hand side. Hawkins is there. She'll make the catch for out number 3. And after the leadoff infield single, not much happening for the Seminoles, and they do not score here in the first inning.
Location. Great job by Brisky against pretty much all the hitters, jamming on the inside. And that's so significant, Tom, because Florida State's best scoring inning this year is the first. 53 runs in the first inning this season, 0 here tonight.
For the Seminoles, no runs on hit, no errors, 1 left. We played a half inning. Florida State nothing. Alabama coming to bat here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. To the bottom of the first inning, no score between Florida State and Alabama, and here is the Alabama Power starting lineup for the 24th ranked Alabama Crimson Tide. Alabama 21-9 overall, 13-4 here at the Rhodes House, coming off of a series loss to Mississippi State this past weekend here in Tuscaloosa. The center fielder, Audrey Vandegrift, will lead things off with Larissa Pruitt, the right fielder, batting second. Abby Dukeshire, first base, bats third. Batting fourth is the second baseman, Callie Hevlin. Lex Papillo, the left fielder, will bat fifth. Batting sixth is Brooke Elistad, the third baseman. Designated player, Caitlin Riley, batting seventh. Batting eighth is Marley Giles, the catcher. And Salem Hawkins, the shortstop, will bat ninth. They'll face in the circle for Florida State, the left-handed sophomore from Winchester, Tennessee, Ashton Danley. Danley on the year with a 1.47 ERA, a 4-1 record, making her 15th appearance. 7th start. She does not have a complete game this year. She's pitched 38 innings. Vandegrift steps in, and here comes the first pitch. It's in there for a called strike. 30 hits allowed, 13 runs, 8 earned. She's walked 9, struck out 37. Opponents batting .217 against Danley on the year.
And you're going to see a lot of down. Works with hard downspin. Even When it's up, it looks like a rise ball. Nope, that's a high drop. A lot of drop in the arsenal.
The 0-1. Ooh, inside on the inside corner or thereabouts for a called strike. 0-2 on Vandegrift, who's batting .429, 36 of 84, 29 runs scored, 3 doubles, 2 triples, a homer, 15 runs driven in.
And there's that changeup I was about to get to, about 50, regular velo, about mid-60s.
The 0-2 is a ground ball past a diving Beecham at third, and that's through for a base hit. And Audrey Vandegrift extends that on-base streak right away here in the first inning.
Yeah, that's now 19 straight games where Vandegrift has reached base, and now the question is she going to run? Because that was not something Alabama really utilized, didn't have a ton of chances to against Mississippi State. Here's the opportunity, and Michaela Edenfield behind the dish has thrown out 5 in 22 attempts. We'll see if or when Vandegrift decides to take off.
Larissa Pruitt to the plate. First pitch. Runner goes. That's a hard, high fly ball to deep right field, but it's going to go foul into the corner. 4 strike 1 from Pruitt, who's batting .360, 31 of 86, 25 runs scored, 5 doubles, a triple, homer, and 17 RBIs on the year.
Last 5 games, hitting a nice .333, a double, couple walks, 5 runs scored, .353 average this year against ranked teams. And we'll see if, again, Vandegrift decides to take off.
The 0-1. She does take off, and the throw down is not in time, and it was not caught cleanly anyway. The stolen base for the nation's stolen base leader, Audrey Vandegrift. She's now 35 of 38 on the season.
Well, and I'll tell you what, this is a great throw from Michaela Edenfield. The reason Vandegrift is safe is not because it was dropped, it was because it was a changeup. So that slower velocity gave Vandegrift just the extra amount of time that she needed to be safe at second base.
Pitch was a ball. It's 1 ball, 1 strike now on Pruitt. With a runner on second, nobody out. And that's a slow chopper that will be foul down the first base line, 1-2. Florida State leads the all-time series 9-8 over Alabama in a closely contested series, but the Crimson Tide has won the last 2 meetings, posting a 2-1 win in Clearwater in 2023 and a 4-1 win in Tallahassee last season. Here at Rhodes, Bama is 5-3 all-time against Florida State, but the Seminoles have won the last 2 meetings, 3-1 in 2018 and 6-5 in 2022. The 1-2, Pruitt pops up the off speed, and the catch is made by Edenfield in front of home plate for the first out.
Yeah, you got to quickly adjust to that changeup because Danley is going to utilize that a lot. That's her second most utilized pitch. What we haven't talked about, Alabama's had a lot of success this year against lefties. A .370 team batting average entering tonight against left-handed pitchers. Against righties, it's .354. So a batter like this, Abby Dukeshire, with that righty versus lefty matchup, this should be favorable.
Dukeshire steps in. Here comes the first pitch. A little bit low for ball 1. Dukeshire batting .385, 25 of 65 with 15 runs scored, 6 doubles, 3 homers, and 14 runs driven in.
In her career against FSU, 2 for 4 with a home run. That was last year in Tallahassee.
The 1-0. Duke holds off on it. It's too high. 2 balls and no strikes. Alabama currently 91-25 all time against the current makeup of the Atlantic Coast Conference,
which includes wins against Cal.
It does.
And all the other things. We love realignment.
Some wins against Stanford.
Yeah.
Some others. The 2-0 is low and outside. 3 balls and no strikes. 77 degrees at first pitch. Partly cloudy skies, now more hazy, but the wind is the big factor. It is blowing out to left center field right now. Gusts up to 20 miles an hour.
At least.
The 3-0 in there for a strike, 3-1. So both pitchers will be very much trying to work down to keep the ball low.
And I have to assume that's a big reason why both of these pitchers started tonight. A combined 3 home runs allowed. We talked about it. Danley's going to keep it low in the zone with that downspin and that drop ball that we've already seen.
3-1, that's low and away for ball 4. And Alabama has runners on first and second with 1 out here in the first inning, trying to strike first. And that will bring up consistent Callie Hevlin, the batter now. Callie batting .384, 28 of 73, 21 runs scored, 2 doubles, 2 triples, leads the team with 10 homers and 27 runs driven in.
Hasn't just been consistent lately, has been great at the plate.
First pitch is high for ball 1.
Last 5 games, how about a 500 batting average? 5 RBIs, a homer, couple doubles, and has 1 career hit against Florida State. That was a 2-run homer last year, I believe in the 3rd inning, because I think I got that one.
It was the 3rd inning of chaos.
Yeah, that was the theme last year.
Yes. Out baking underneath the Tallahassee sun.
Also, Callie this year hitting 400 against lefty pitchers.
The 1-0. Evelyn takes that one high, and Edenfield has it popped out of her glove, and that will allow Audrey Vandergrift to take 3rd. Assume that'll be a pass ball.
Yeah, this is one of those high drops we were talking about that actually had a little bit of curve action to it from Danley. And Michaela Edenfield's a great catcher. That was odd.
She's looking at her mitt like it might have broke a stream or something. A string, I should say. That one comes in high. 3 balls and no strikes.
And right now, you are take.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the red light is up for all the hitters until Ashton Danley starts to find the strike zone. Because some of these misses are not very close.
The 3-0 to Hevlin. Pulls back the bunt. It's a called strike, 3-1. 1 out, runners on the corners here in the bottom of the 1st. Alabama trying to strike first against Florida State. Dimensions here at the Rhodes House, 200 down the lines, 220 to straightaway center field, 6-foot wall all the way around in the outfield. 3-1. Hit the inside corner and the count's full, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
It's that inside drop, trying to get you to roll over on that a little bit. You know, Danley probably hoping to get a double play here.
Payoff pitch. Ground ball through for a base hit into right field. Vandergrift will score, and the ball is lost by the right fielder. Dukeshire will take 3rd. And Alabama takes the 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the 1st.
It's a great piece of hitting from Callie Hevlin. This is also a great coaching moment for Patrick Murphy. First off, the pitch, low and away, but kind of leaked back over the middle. Good job by Hevlin getting to that. We've talked about it. While she can hit everything this year, the drop is still the bread and butter. But then you got to coach up Abby Dukeshire here because she stopped watching the ball. If she watches the ball as she goes to second, she sees that Waycaser fumbles it a bit, and she's already at 3rd and maybe scores. But she wasn't watching the ball, and Patrick Murphy was having a word with her saying, you got to make sure that you're aware because you might have had a run right there if you were watching.
Lexa Pillow, the batter now. Runners on the corners again. The first pitch is high for ball 1. So the scoring on that play, that's an RBI single for Callie Hevlin, and Dukeshire advancing to 3rd on the E9.
No action as of yet in the FSU bullpen. I would assume they probably warmed up multiple people.
Yeah.
You know, they're probably ready to go if something gets squirrely here in the 1st.
The 1-0, Papillo with a chopper. That's going to get through for a base hit into right field. Dukeshire will score, and Alabama has taken the 2-0 lead here in the bottom of the 1st inning.
Well, we had, spoiler alert, Haley McClinney on the pod this week, and one of the things that we said after we went off was Alabama's got to throw a punch. You know, even against Mississippi State, they put up a run in the bottom of the 1st, but that was kind of it. This kind of feels like it could be a real punch. If you can find a gap here, you can put up a big number and really put the pressure on the Seminoles.
Hevlin on second, Papillo on first, and Brooke Elistad is the batter. The first pitch to her, she fouls it off on a check swing for strike 1. Elistad batting .363, 29 of 80 with 12 runs scored, 3 doubles, 2 triples, 5 homers, 26 runs driven in.
Has kind of been a up and down last 5 games. You know, 4 of 12, but has driven in 6 runs, has struck out 3 times, I think 345 against ranked foes.
The 0-1, that one bounces in. 1 ball, 1 strike. Don't think I ever went over the Seminoles defense, so real quickly.
Go for it.
Kerr in left, Harp in center, Waycaser in right, Beecham at 3rd, Torres at short, Potter at 2nd, Ross at 1st, Edenfield is catching, Dak is the DP. The 1-1, and that's off the end of the bat. It's a slow roller to 2nd, no tag. They'll throw to 1st to get Elistad. But Papillo avoided the tag from Potter, and now there are runners on 2nd and 3rd with 2 away.
Good base running by Papillo to scoot out of the way, and it was a really good job by Potter charging that ball and making the play at first base. Alabama's, seeing Danley quite well, but the changeup is still tough so far.
Caitlin Riley steps in. The first pitch is high for ball one. Danley's changeup is reminiscent of Ailey Johnson's, to where when it's really going well, she could tell you, I'm about to throw a changeup, and you'll still look silly.
Well, and what's interesting about it is it doesn't have a ton of movement. It's basically just like floating on a line to wherever she's throwing.
Riley with a slow roller to third. Beecham has it, will make the throw. Riley beats it out. But with it happening right in front of Callie Evelyn at third, she had to stay. But Caitlin Riley gets the infield single, and now the bases are loaded with 2 out.
Jay Beecham does everything she can with this. If you're Caitlin Riley, you're like, all right, cool, that's fun. I mean, just, a total jam job that's essentially a swinging bunt. And great job by Riley running it out, showing the wheels, definitely safe, bases loaded.
That will bring up Marley Giles, who's batting .254 on the year, 17 of 67. 16 runs scored, 4 doubles, a triple, 4 homers, and 17 runs driven in.
Trying to get it going. Last 5 games, just hitting 2 for 10 with nothing else but a run. Has been jammed a lot, so you know that Danley's going to come inside on you.
First pitch is high for ball one. 2-0 Alabama. The Tide has 4 hits in the inning, but could really bust things open here in the first with a big hit here from Giles. The 1-0. Off speed in there for a strike, 1-1.
And as great as this first inning is, Tom, this is what Alabama has lacked in the big games. The moment right here. When you put up a couple runs and you've got a chance for more, Alabama has not necessarily done that. This is an opportunity to really make a statement.
The 1-1. Giles takes the changeup for a strike, 1-2. There have been a lot of really big innings for Alabama, but they haven't come against the ranked teams.
Right.
But when they've gotten to big innings, they've been really big innings. So hoping for one here.
I think you're going to see the change again out of the zone.
The 1-2. No, hard stuff on the outside. Missed the outside corner, I should say. 2-2.
Well, then now change up. I mean, if I'm Florida State, I'm dialing it up right now. If I'm Marley Giles, that's what I'm sitting. If it's anything hard, just fight it off.
2-2. Giles with a ground ball to second. Potter's there. She'll make the stop and the throw for out number 3 to retire the side. But Alabama does strike first here in the first inning with 2 runs on 4 hits. There was 1 error and 3 runners left on.
Yeah, I mean, again, I wish it had been more. I'm certainly not mad about a 2-0 lead against Florida State, but the way that this offense for the Noles hits, you're going to need more. That was a chance to really early step on the throat. You didn't, and you left the bases loaded. So now you got to make sure that Florida State doesn't garner any momentum at all at the top of the second.
We've played 1. It's Alabama 2, Florida State nothing here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from their field. The second inning is presented by the Bryant Museum, located on the UA campus just across from Coleman Coliseum, open every day 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. except Mondays. Access online at bryantmuseum.com. We head to the second inning. Alabama with a 2-0 lead over Florida State. Due up for the Seminoles here in the second. It'll be Deck, Waycaser, and Kerr. 5-6-7 against Jocelyn Brisky, who gave up a leadoff single in the first of Florida State, but then got 3 straight outs. keeping the Noles off the board. Designated player Katie Deck will be the batter. Right-handed hitting, senior, batting .318. First pitch. Low and in for ball 1. 21 of 66, 22 runs scored, 5 doubles, 7 homers, and 21 runs driven in for Deck.
And you may remember Katie Deck, the former Texas A&M Aggie. Has played the last few years at Florida State.
The 1-0. Fouled away. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Last 10 games hitting .200. But in her career against Alabama, 3 for 8 with 2 RBIs, a home run, a double, a walk, 3 strikeouts, and 2 runs. That home run, Tom, was with Texas A&M back in 2022. Her freshman season, I believe she got SEC Freshman of the Week.
Oh, yeah.
That week.
Yeah.
Not a fun weekend.
The 1-1. Fouled back. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Where do we go next? Oh, that's right. That will be fine.
As per usual, Alabama will travel to the team that just swept Auburn. It's been a theme so far.
So interesting. So are you pulling for teams to stop sweeping Auburn, or
no,
the schedule to stop?
I'm just pulling for the schedule to be different.
The schedule to not.
I'm okay with the other results. The 1-2 to Dak is high. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Alabama in the all-white uniforms. White jerseys with the script Alabama in crimson across the chest. White pants, crimson socks, and crimson pinstripes. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Got her with a drop, and there's 1 gone.
Well, it had down movement, but, Tom, that was a changeup. And that is the pitch.
It can be either one.
Well, it was a 57, though. But my point being, that pitch, if it's a weapon tonight, Florida State is really up a creek because we haven't seen it much lately.
Allie Waycaser steps in. The first pitch to her is low for ball 1. Waycaser, FGCL, batting .301. 22 of 73, 13 runs scored, 3 doubles, 4 homers, and 21 runs driven in. The 1-0. Swung on and missed. 1-1.
And I'm not picking on you, but what you said is exactly what we want Florida State to say if you're Lance McMahon and Jocelyn Brisky, because it does look like a drop.
Yeah.
Talked about it. Danley's is more flat. Brisky's has that down movement like her drop.
Too much down on that one. 2-1. Mumble.
Yeah, it's good to see people start to file in. It was a little empty at the anthem, but people are starting to roll in a bit.
The 2-1. That's jammed to second. Evelyn's there. She makes the stop in the throw, and there's 2 gone.
I'm loving what I'm seeing from Brisky with that curve in. I mean, right now, Florida State not quite adjusting to it. They'll make some adjustments later on, but first time through, that curve in on the hands, especially to the righties, is really working.
Janai Kerr, the batter. 2 outs, nobody on. First pitch. Swung on and missed. For strike 1. Kerr batting .340, 18 of 53, 15 runs scored, 2 doubles, a triple, 2 homers, and 11 RBIs.
Kerr in the last 5 for 7. It's a 7.14 average, a couple RBIs, a couple doubles.
The 0-1, bunted at and missed. 0-2 now on Kerr.
Against the SEC this year, Kerr 0 for 6. And somewhere in the middle, against Alabama all the time, 2 for 5 with a solo homer back in 2023 in Clearwater. The only run scored in Alabama's 2-1 win.
The 0-2 pitch to the backstop. 1-2. It's okay. Just don't dig in.
That's fine when nobody's on base.
Right.
I'm good with that then. It's okay. It was 0-2. If she chased that, well.
That was Lance McMahon called hit the elephant.
Called where's David Burney?
1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Kerr down on strikes in a 1-2-3 efficient inning pitched by Jocelyn Brisky.
And again, this is all about location. Her curve, her drop, mixing in that changeup that has drop tendencies. Right now it's all working. Florida State looks a little bamboozled. You've got the momentum. Keep going. Keep piling it on in the second.
For the Seminoles in the second, 3 up and 3 down. We head to the bottom of the second inning. 2-0 Alabama here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. The second inning is presented by the Bryant Museum, located on the UA campus just across from Coleman Coliseum, open every day 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. except Mondays. Access online at bryantmuseum.com. We head to the bottom of the second inning. Alabama with a 2-0 lead over Florida State. Due up for the tide here in the second. It'll be Hawkins, Vandegrift, and Pruitt. 9-1-2 against Ashton Danley. Back out now for her second inning of work for the Seminoles. Alabama 4 hits in the first inning, resulting in 2 runs. They did leave the bases loaded, but they did take the 2-0 lead. Now an opportunity to keep that going here with Salem Hawkins leading things off. Batting .259, 14 of 54, 11 runs scored with a double and 4 RBIs.
2 for 12 in the last 5. Does have an RBI, but you'd love a little bit more production at the bottom part of the order from her.
First pitch, a little outside for ball 1. Florida State in the all light gray uniforms, the gray jerseys with Seminoles in script garnet across the chest. Gray pants and garnet socks. 1-0. High, 2-0.
There are 2 Noles warming up in the pen. Julia Apsell, the Hofstra transfer, warming up. She's a redshirt senior. And on the opposite end, Jazzy Francic, the freshman, also warming up. So a lefty and a righty getting warm for the Noles over in the pen.
2-0. Hawkins with a ground ball. That's going to get through for a base hit in the left field. 5th hit of the ball game for Alabama. Leads off the second inning. And the leadoff man's on.
Getting what you want, right? I mean, a pitch left over the middle. It certainly looked like something Hawkins should hit. Because of a downspin, hard to get it up in the air, but it was trying to get in and just didn't. And now you've got options. Oh, boy, do you have options with Audrey Vandegrift stepping in. A lot of tools in the kit for the freshman.
And with the speed of Hawkins on first, even more possibilities. Vandegrift's 1 for 1, single and scored her first time. Pulls back the bunt, comes in too low for ball 1. Alabama's head coach is Patrick Murphy in his 27th season as the Alabama head coach. Tied head coaching record of 1,298 victories, 384 losses, a 772 winning percentage for the national champion and Hall of Famer. The 1-0 hits the inside corner, 1-1, as it's a matchup of 2 Hall of Fame head coaches in this game.
2 programs, we've talked about this in the past, very similar.
Yes.
You know, the way people talk about Coach Murphy, who played for him, those same people for Florida State talk about Lonnie Alameda.
The 1-1, Vandegrift swings and misses the ball on 2 strikes. Assistant coach, Kayla Bro, she's in the first base coaching box. Pitching coach is Lance McMahon. Adam Arbor, the hitting coach. Coordinator of player development, Ryan Iamurray. Director of softball operations, Jaden Spencer.
Ribs.
Michelle Diltz is the strength and conditioning coach. AC Tinka, the athletic trainer. The 1-2, Vandegrift with a slow roller to first. They'll throw to second and barely get 1. But the out is recorded at second. Vandegrift reaches first on the fielder's choice, and there's 1 gone.
It might not matter because now you give Vandegrift second base open to steal. We'll see if she goes. If she can identify the changeup again, that's the perfect time to go. If I'm Florida State, I'm not throwing a changeup this at-bat. And I, make Vandegrift have to go on something hard that Edenfield catches and throws to second. We'll see. This is an interesting chess match. Because also you got to consider Pruitt got out on a changeup her first time up. So what are you worried about? Let's see.
Pruitt's 0 for 1. She popped out her first time. First pitch, runner goes. It is a pitch out, but Vandegrift will slide in safely ahead of the tag.
Wow.
Florida State thought Vandegrift would go, called the pitch to try to catch Vandegrift at second, but the speed, the head first slide, now 36 of 39 stolen bases this year for the nation's leader.
And notably not as sharp a throw by Edenfield. That kind of pulled Potter away from the bag. That helped.
Want to know the count on Pruitt. Pops it up. Foul ground, first base side, but will get out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. Sports Information Director for Alabama is Nathan Sheehan. The Video Director, Scott Moyer. Stu Moore is the Equipment Manager. And Kent Gidley, photographer of the Stars.
Hey, Kent. He's not listening.
No.
He's taking pictures. It's a work night.
He's doing the photography.
Right, of course. Lots to capture so far.
The 1-1. Pruitt, 1 hopper to third. Beecham will look back. Vandegrift and throw, and okay. She caught it and then lost it at first, and Vandegrift will take third. So the throw was there from Beecham to Ross, but then Ross trying to get the ball out of her glove to keep Vandegrift at second, lost it, and Vandegrift took third on the second error of the game by Florida State.
And that's something that we talked about in the open, Tom. You know, the Florida State defense, Alabama's gotten a lot of flack defensively, and I get it. Florida State's defense has not been sharp this year either. And already 2 mistakes. Can Alabama take advantage?
Abby Dukeshire is the batter. She walked and scored her first time. First pitch is the change. It's in there for a strike. For Florida State, their head coach is Lonnie Alameda. She's in her 17th season in Tallahassee. Whew. Assistant coaches Travis Wilson, Troy Cameron, and Callie Rafter.
And Rafter has helped Lonnie for a long time with Team Canada.
Off speed in there again for a strike, 0-2.
It's amazing that I don't think either of us have ever met Lonnie Alameda, even though I feel like we know most of the program.
Right.
From summer leagues and calling international games and all that stuff. Never met Lonnie. Would love to one day.
The 0-2, low and away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. I love inside jokes. To be part of one day. That's what that sounded like.
Oh.
Had the same cadence.
I mean, I guess. Sure. we're still getting, it's been a while since we've sat together.
Sure.
I mean, just a week, but.
Well, technically last night in the Out of the Box podcast. That one's outside, 2-2, 2 nights ago.
That's
whenever
true.
that was.
That's a different kind of chemistry, though. It's a different animal in many ways. Listen to this week's pod, folks.
Out of the Box _pod on the X.
Let's see if after a couple pitches away, you come back with that changeup on the inside part.
The 2-2 pitch. Low and away. 3 balls and 2 strikes. 2 outs to the runner on third. Alabama trying to add to the 2-0 lead here in the home half of the second.
Well, you include the walk from Dukeshire. Florida State just doesn't have any interest in throwing anything middle in to Dukeshire right now. They're going to try and make her chase outside.
Now the payoff pitch. Duke with a ground ball to short. Stop and the throw by Torres for out number 3 to retire the side. So Bama gets a runner to third but can't get her home here in the second. No runs on a hit. There was 1 error and 1 runner left. We played 2. It's Alabama 2, Florida State nothing here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. For Florida State, due up for the Seminoles here in the third. It'll be 8-9-1, Ross, Stanley, and Torres. Jocelyn Brisky back out for her 3rd inning of work. 2 runs on 5 hits, no errors, and 4 left for Alabama. No runs on a hit, 2 errors, and 1 runner left for Florida State. Alabama has had control of this game from the jump, but they've left 4 runners on in the first 2 innings. So Florida State staying in the game, but Jocelyn Brisky has looked outstanding so far here today.
Right, and you got to keep it up. And this is going to be an interesting test because when things have gotten weird, it's typically started with the bottom of the order, right? So you don't want all those nasty bats of Torres, Beecham, Harp, Edenfield anywhere near this inning. I mean, Torres has to come up, but if she can approach the box with 2 outs, that'd be great. Just can't let the bottom of the order generate something here in this third because after you grab the momentum early, it feels a little static right now.
Yeah.
And you would love to get it back on your side.
Well, here to take you through the 3rd inning, I'll turn things over to my partner, Gray Robertson.
Thanks, Tom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I said all that, and now it's up to me. And Ethan. Ethan's here, too.
But the
and
3rd inning
Boss
is
Man Jim.
Sure. Oh, yes.
Sorry, go ahead.
The 3rd inning is presented by Bojangles, a new and improved Bojangles app. Bring the flavor to your tailgate with chicken, biscuits, and fixings by downloading the Bojangles app to order ahead for tailgates and whenever it's bow time. it's not a tailgate without Bojangles.
There we go. First pitch misses low and into Amaya Ross, and we're off and running here in the top of the third. Ross, the senior, hitting .321, 17 of 53, 8 RBIs, 2 homers, 3 doubles, 21 runs scored. And their stolen base leader on the team as well. The 1-0. High and in, 2 balls and no strikes. Ross, last 5 games, .667 batting average, 6 for 9 with 4 RBIs. Both of those homers. 2-0. Fouled straight back, 2-1.
I would like to point out.
Oh, go for it.
Florida State's series last weekend was against notable, not great at softball team Pitt.
Mm-hmm.
So some of these numbers might be a touch inflated.
That one low, 3-1. So last week they played Portland State twice out in Portland.
Right.
And then a 3-game home series against Pitt. Before that, some issues against Oregon. Just couldn't hit the Ducks pitching. 3-1 to Ross. That is low for ball 4, and that is not what the doctor ordered. Leadoff walk here in the top of the third.
Yeah, in addition to what we talked about defensively, walks were certainly an issue against Mississippi State this past weekend. But now what do you do to respond to issuing the freebie?
Especially if Ross takes off. First pitch to the pitcher, Ashton Danley, is in their first strike, 0-1. Danley, 14 of 35 on the year, 400 average, 5 RBIs, 2 doubles, 5 runs. Did start in center field last year against Alabama. Was 2 for 3. That's back to Brisky. She'll throw to second for 1. The throw to first is not in time. Skipped into Dukeshire. And there's 1 down. Almost got the double play. But the throw not quite as crisp as it needed to be.
Yeah, I don't know if it was absolutely perfect, if it would have been able to get somebody the speed of Danley.
I think so.
But Alabama, I thought they might be considering challenging, but doesn't.
No.
They're letting Danley put on the oven mitt.
She was safe. Back to the top of the order, Issa Torres. First pitch. Outside for ball 1. Torres had that infield single back in the first. Now the 1-0. Popped straight up. Elistad has beat, has the catch, and has out number 2. And that is how you do it.
Yeah, came inside once again, a jam shot, got underneath it, popped it up. The only issue was Alabama being able to deal with the wind, and because that was so high, it definitely got in the wind. But Elistad made it happen.
Jay Beecham flew out her first time up, and the first pitch is fouled off down the third base line. 0-1 with 2 outs, runner on first. Alabama leads number 9, Florida State 2-0 here in the top of the third. Long way to go, but a good start for Team 29 here tonight. The 0-1. Changeup misses low and in, 1-1.
Alabama travels to College Station this weekend for a conference series with Texas A&M. Friday's first pitch set for 6, 5:45 the airtime here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network.
1-1 to Beecham. That is a strike, 1-2. I say this fully hoping that Tricia Ford is not listening, but this one's been circled for a while. And, this whole week was so pivotal. So I think Travis Wilson did not love that strike call.
I thought it was fine.
I mean, but here's the thing. David Irwin's been giving that.
Yeah.
So for both pitchers. So
Yeah.
I'm all right with it.
And Patrick Murphy didn't like a few of them last inning either.
Yeah. Now the 1-2 to Jay Beecham. The off speed is hit towards center field, and there's Vandegrift. Catch made, side retired, and Florida State does not find a way to use the leadoff walk to get on the board, Tom.
Very good. That's what, you would love to have a game where you don't commit an error and you don't issue a walk, but it's how you respond once one of those things happen. And Brisky did a great job there against some really good hitters, especially at the top of the order.
And Alabama will have the middle of the order due up when we return. Alabama 2, Florida State 0, going to the bottom of the third here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. The third inning is presented by Bojangles and the new and improved Bojangles app. Bring the flavor to your tailgate with chicken, biscuits, and fixings by downloading the Bojangles app to order ahead for tailgates and whenever it's bow time. When is it bow time, Tom?
It can be anytime.
Anytime. Now?
Sure.
Okay. It's not a tailgate without Bojangles. Alabama 2, Florida State nothing. Go into the bottom of the third. Callie Heavlin, Lex Papillo, Brooke Elistad do up.
You know I'm always down for a chicken leg and some mashed potatoes.
And yet you didn't have a Krispy Kreme donut pregame.
Well, yes, but I had a hamburger and fries right before it.
Oh, okay. Excuses. Callie Heavlin extended now an 8-game hit streak with an RBI single in the first. Second time facing Ashton Danley. And the first pitch is a changeup low and away. More off-speed drop for ball one. Because Danley does have that in the arsenal as well. Not just the straight change, but also the off-speed drop ball.
Solid drop.
It's all working down. The 1-0 is fouled back, 1-1.
Big weekend in Tuscaloosa coming up for Alabama baseball. Tide hosting the #1 team in the nation. No longer undefeated. Tennessee Vols, they come in for a Thursday, Friday, Saturday series. First pitch tomorrow set for 6:30, 6:15 the airtime here on the network.
Is that all that's happening this weekend?
Oh, there's some other stuff.
The 1-1. That is the change. Misses low, 2-1.
Men's basketball takes on Robert Morris in the first round of the NCAA tournament on Friday, 10:30 the airtime.
What?
Yes, it's the first game of the day out in Cleveland.
Oh, the airtime. I was like,
Yeah.
Excuse me? CBS. The 2-1 to Heavlin. That misses away, 3-1.
And then the women open up the NCAA tournament as the 5 seed taking on the 12 seed Green Bay in the first round on Saturday. 12:15 will be the airtime for that one.
Really proud of Christy Curry
Absolutely.
in that program, getting a 5 seed. 3-1 to Heavlin is grounded to short. Great range by Torres. That's an amazing play over to first base for out number 1. Beat Heavlin by 3 steps on a ball that looked like it would squeeze through the 5-6 hole.
Yeah, off the bat, I thought that was going to get through. Nice backhanded play there by Torres. And
well, I'll say this. I talked about the errors for Florida State. Issa Torres is probably one of the 3 best shortstops in the game right now.
I remember her last year.
Oh, yeah. Lex Papillo with the bases clear and 1 gone will take a changeup for strike 1, 0-1. Lex had an RBI single her first time up.
It seemed like Torres was stealing a base hit every inning away from Alabama defensively.
I mean, they have 31 errors on the year. She has 2 of them at probably the hardest or second hardest spot on the field. 0-1 is low, 1-1.
Also, Bama fans, be sure to catch Hey Coach and the Nate Oates Show, presented by Alpha Insurance, live from Baumhauer's Victory Grill in Tuscaloosa, Monday nights from 6 to 7 p.m. Central Time, right here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network.
The wind has calmed down a bit. 1-1 to Papillo, fouled into the screen, 1-2.
And Crimson Tide Sports Network coverage continues with Crimson Drive Thursday afternoons on all Crimson Tide Sports Network social media outlets. Crimson Drive is live each Thursday at 2 p.m. Central Time, so be sure to join host Roger Hoover for the latest on Alabama athletics.
You know what I hear? A lot of work for Ethan Carabin.
Oh, he's hardest working man in show business.
The 1-2 changeup popped up. Torres will move over and catch it, step in the grass for out number 2.
He helps bring you the CTSN Booth Cam, presented by MLB The Show 25, available now on all gaming systems.
All gaming systems? Because mine is pretty old. We'll see.
Okay, well, all current gaming systems.
Okay, great. 2 gone, bases clear. Brooke Elistad grounded out her first time up. First pitch low and in for ball 1. 2-0 Alabama over Florida State here in the bottom of the third. The 1-0. Ooh, that almost hit Brooke. Missing in, 2-0.
Great. It's time for a scoreboard update brought to you by the Out of the Box podcast. Check out the latest episode of the Out of the Box podcast, part of the Softball America Podcast Network, wherever you get your podcasts. All of our bosses are here. today. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah, Tara Henry here as well. 2-0. That's a strike. 2-1.
Give us a follow at @outofthebox_pod on the X. Like, subscribe, and share. Had a great episode that dropped this morning. Interview with the GOAT, Haley McClenny.
Going to see her very soon. She'll be in T-Town for the Georgia series. Before we get to scores, the 2-1 to Elistad. The change is hit out to right. Waycaser backs up. That's off the top of the wall. Great backup by Harp. And she throws a laser into third, but Elistad's got the 2-out double on a ball that if it's not a changeup is probably out of the yard.
And if the fence is 5 feet tall instead of 6 feet tall, it's out of here too. Very top of the wall in right center field. But another 2-out hit. That was something Alabama did really well against Mississippi State. Just wasn't able to follow it up very often with another one. Got to follow it up here.
Opportunity for Caitlin Riley. First pitch. Low and in for strike one. She had that infield single in the first. I'm going to ask her after the game.
Showing off the wheels.
How many infield singles she's had. Oh, 1 from Danley. That is hit sharply to second, but collected by Potter. Throw to first in time. Side retired. And Alabama still leads 2-0. Tom, I will point out, though, that double by Elistad, the first extra base hit in the ballgame, and the 6th hit overall against Danley through 3 innings.
Yeah, Bama's seeing Danley pretty well. Just a few too many left on base so far, but you got the 2-0 lead, and Brisky's pitching outstanding, too. So it's kind of on her right now to keep it going.
Yep, we go to the 4th. Alabama 2, FSU 0 here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. Is presented by Nukes. At Nukes, your food is always made to order in an open kitchen with the freshest ingredients. Visit them locally, right over there on University Boulevard, or order online at nukes.com. Nukes is a proud supporter of Alabama softball. I like to use the Nukes app. I've collected quite a few points over the years.
Good.
Here in the 4th inning, top half edition, Alabama leads Florida State 2-0. Due up for the Noles. 3-4-5, Harp, Edenfield, and Katie Dack. Lonnie Alameda having a word with Michelle Smith and Chucky Kemp. So, Tom, before I toss it back to you, this is the power part in the FSU order. So if you're Brisky, you kind of just got to keep doing what you've been doing.
Yeah, keep keeping the ball down, hitting your spots, changing speeds, and keep this offense off balance. Because you think at some point the offense is going to give you a little bit more, but you got to try to keep the opponent where they are.
It's always interesting to watch the interviews without hearing them. Coach Alameda seems very chill.
She's fine.
Very chill.
She's just enjoying the day.
Well, it's going to be important for Brisky to get out Harp. She grounded out back in the first, but Harp leads the ACC in batting average, runs scored, triples, OBP, walks, and slugging. Second in hits, second in RBIs. 0 for 1 on the game. Hoping for 0 for 2 as I toss it back to my partner, Tom Canterbury.
Thank you so much, Gray. Jocelyn Brisky, through 3 innings, has given up 1 hit, no runs, 1 walk, and 2 strikeouts. 39 pitches, 24 strikes. Thrown by the sophomore from Phoenix as Kennedy Harp steps in, and here comes the first pitch. Touch inside for ball 1. Harp grounded out her first time.
All right, so you ready for scores?
Sure.
All right, let's go to the finals in the SEC first.
This is the Out of the Box Podcast scoreboard update.
That's right.
The 1-0. Hard hit ball. That is a foul ball just to the left of the third base bag. And our third base umpire, Aaron Golden, took a spill. And it was just foul. And they just barely missed extra bases there, did Harp.
And thank goodness it was called foul on the field. Yeah, that's the right call. But, man, that was by far the best contact by Florida State against Brisky.
The 1-1. High and away, 2-1.
All right, so finals. Kentucky defeats Bellarmine 5-0. Georgia run rules Georgia State 8-0.
Okay.
All right, now let's get to the active stuff. Things happening right now.
2-1 to Harp. It's a two-hopper to third. Elistad with a charge, the gloves it, and makes the throw for out number 1.
Top of the 6th, Mississippi State leads UAB 7-4. Sierra Sacco is a homer away from the cycle against the Blazers.
I'm shocked she's doing well.
The average is 506 now. Oh, my.
Michaela Edenfield steps in. 0 for 1 on the day, the first pitch. In there for a strike, 0-1.
All right, get ready for this one. Top of the 3rd, South Alabama leads Auburn 5-0.
Whoo!
Tigers better figure it out because that would be 8 straight losses going into a road series at Texas.
Yeah, the 0-1. Called strike, 0-2.
Anything else you want to say about that?
They were number 1 in the RPI.
Yeah. A 3 RBI triple by Presley Lively, the leadoff for South Al.
The 0-2. Edenfield with a fly ball to left. Papillo will have it fall in front of her. And Edenfield reaches on the single, the second hit of the day by the Seminoles.
That was a very odd ball flight. Brisky jammed Edenfield, but this is one of the strongest players in all of college softball. Michaela Edenfield is 100% solid muscle.
Yeah.
And, she got jammed, and this almost reached Papillo anyway. That's just pure power. And now if you're Brisky, you got to make sure, don't let that affect you.
Katie Dack steps in. The first pitch is lined just foul down the left field line. That would have not been good for the Crimson Tide, but luckily it's just foul for strike 1.
Well, either they're picking up on a tendency or that was just the first mistake on the change. Dak way out in front, but that was elevated. That was up. That was when you really crush. Got a little lucky there.
The 0-1, high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike on Katie Dack, who's 0 for 1. She struck out her first time.
Top of the 2nd, Oklahoma leads East Texas A&M 3-0. Best of luck to East Texas A&M in this game.
Formerly Texas A&M Commerce.
Of course.
The 1-1, fouled away. A ball and 2 strikes.
Also, Florida's getting pushed tonight. Top of the 7th at Jacksonville. They lead 5-2. That was a 3-2 ball game in the 6th. They're in the 7th now. Midweeks can get a little wonky.
Yeah. The 1-2, fouled straight back. Leading in 1 ball, 1 strike. Excuse me, 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1 out. Here in the top of the 4th, 2-0 Alabama. The Seminoles have a runner on first.
And we'll also tell you, as part of the Out of the Box Podcast scoreboard update, what is coming this weekend in the SEC series-wise.
First, Brisky looks in, the 1-2. And that's a soft liner that's going to fall for a base hit just over Callie Hevlin's head, and that's going to get into right. So back-to-back singles now put runners on first and second, the 1 out for the Seminoles.
I bet if we asked Callie Hevlin if she had that back, she would try and rein. But again, off the bat, that had weird spin. It kind of looked like it would be low and just kept going up. And I'm sure Callie thought, oh, yeah, I can get this. But Dak just got to a drop. It was kind of over the plate.
I said soft liner. I think it was actually hit harder than it looked to start off with.
Yeah.
He got into right field, and that will bring out Lance McMahon. And something else that Patrick Murphy mentioned in our pregame interview, he said we're only asking for 3 innings from Jocelyn Brisky, and then we'll go from there. We're in the 4th. She was pitching extremely well, so I certainly understand why she's back out there. But everybody's warming up for Alabama as they're showing it right now. Stick with Brisky here, though, with Waycaser stepping in. 0 for 1 with a ground out. First pitch. And that is a slow roller down the first base line. It will spin and foul for strike one.
All right, what's to come this weekend? Couple out of conference series. Mississippi State, 3 games at Northwestern. Texas Tech, 3 games at South Carolina. Cannot wait to see those.
Yeah.
That'll be a lot of fun.
The 0-1 to Waycaser. Swing and a miss. Got her to chase the rise, 0-2.
LSU's at Georgia. Opportunity for Georgia to say a little something, because LSU looks really good right now.
Yes. The 0-2. Waycaser fouls that one off. Stays alive at 0-2.
Ole Miss is at Kentucky. I have no idea.
That's, yeah. That was one I've...
Everything is on the table.
Yeah. Had no clue.
And
not that I normally do, but I certainly did on that one.
Particularly that one.
Yes. The 0-2 is high, 1-2.
We already mentioned Auburn at Texas. Alabama at Texas A&M. Oklahoma's at Missouri. Best of luck.
Yeah, good luck to the Tigers.
And Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Arkansas at Tennessee.
Now the 1-2 to Waycaser. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Big strikeout by Brisky there to sit down Waycaser, and there's 2 away.
And utilizing that drop in. I mean, and this falls off the table hard. Really, really good pitch on the inner half. Great pitch sequencing, that AB by Lance McMahon.
So 2 outs, runners on first and second. Janai Kerr steps in, the first pitch. A little bit outside for ball 1. Kerr's 0 for 1. She struck out her first time. 3 strikeouts now on the day for Jocelyn Brisky. The 1-0. Oh. Called a ball.
Oh, David.
That looks pretty dang good.
Yeah, I don't know where that one missed.
He's on the outside edge, but
got to be careful here on the 2-0.
2-0 pitch. And that's line to center. That's going to get down for a base hit and get all the way to the wall. 1 run will score. Here comes the second. The throw in is a little bit late. And Florida State ties things up on a 2 RBI single by Janai Kerr.
Yeah, you're waiting on that 2-0 mistake from Brisky. That's one. Just way too meaty. Right over the plate. That's one of the first true misses of the game by Brisky. And Florida State very aggressive with Katie Dack on the base paths. That almost got squirrely, just took a little bit from Salem Hawkins. The throw wasn't super sharp, so she had to go and get it.
Yeah.
And that little bit of time is why Florida State got 2 runs on that hit.
Kerr took second on the throw, and Annie Potter is coming in to run for her with Amaya Ross at the plate. She walked her first time in the first pitch. A little inside for ball 1.
It also goes to show not every hit you have has to be crushed. Both singles that Florida State had were jams.
That one comes in high, 2-0.
You know, Edenfields, now she's got power, but she was jammed. Katie Dack went and got a drop ball. It was a good pitch. And then the real kind of big swing is what got the 2 runs in.
2-0. There's a strike, 2-1. And if you get a call goes your way, good teams will take advantage. And Florida State just did. 2-1. Bunt is down, but it hit her in the batter's box. Foul ball, 2-2.
It's a great idea by Ross. You know, Elistad playing deep at third, Duchscher, you know, not thinking that, obviously. That would have been really tough for the defense.
2-2. Ground ball to second. Evelyn makes a stop in the throw for out number 3 to retire the side. Florida State ties things up here in the 4th as they get 2 runs on 3 hits. No errors and 1 left. We head to the bottom of the 4th inning. 2-2 Alabama, Florida State here in the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. The bottom of the fourth inning, tied up. Alabama, Florida State, 2 apiece. Fourth inning is presented by Nukes. At Nukes, your food is always made to order in an open kitchen with the freshest ingredients. Visit them locally on University Boulevard or order online at nukes.com. Nukes is a proud supporter of Alabama softball. Florida State ties things up in the top of the fourth inning. Due up for the Crimson Tide here in the bottom of the fourth. It's 8-9-1. Giles, Hawkins, and Vandegrift. Taking on Ashton Danley. Back out now for her fourth inning of work. Danley so far has gone 3 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 1 walk and no strikeout, 61 pitches and 35 strikes thrown by Danley. Overall here in the ball game, 2 runs on 4 hits, 2 errors, and 3 left for Florida State. 2 runs on 6 hits, no errors, and 5 left for Alabama. And Gray, has been a game where Alabama has had more opportunities than Florida State has to put up a bigger number and take more of a lead. Danley has done a good job situational pitching, and then Florida State took advantage of really the first time Jocelyn Brisky has made any mistakes in the fourth inning and scored the 2 runs, and we're tied up.
Well, and this is why in that first inning I talked about how, 2 runs is awesome. You had a chance to not necessarily, I mean, you can't ever really slam the door in the first inning, but you can certainly put a few nails in there. And Alabama didn't take advantage, and we've seen that in some of these big games. You know, even the Virginia Tech loss, you had a chance for stuff in the 6th. The Oklahoma State loss, the UCLA loss. They're having games where Alabama's had leads and they've had chances for more, couldn't get it.
Yeah.
Now, you didn't give up the lead. This game is tied. And this is where something like the response stat comes into play because, like you said, Alabama's gotten to Danley, and she's still in this game. Right now, I think the one thing you have to adjust to is that changeup. That changeup has been the thing Alabama hasn't really been able to put in play as of yet.
Marley Giles is the batter. She grounded out her first time. First pitch. 1 hopper to third. Beecham's there. She makes a stop in the throw. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the fourth.
That's where that downspin is so effective, because that is a mistake that Giles hopped right on, but because of a downspin, couldn't get it up in the air. Right at Beecham. Good glove over there at the hot corner. Well played.
So 1 out now for Salyn Hawkins. She singled her first time. First pitch. High for ball 1. Gray, are you aware of the date?
Let's say I am. St. Patrick's Day was 2 days ago, so it's March something.
Right.
Very good.
It is, in fact, March 19th.
Ah.
The 1-0. Hits the outside corner, 1-1. Alabama on March 19th, 12-3 all time.
Okay.
Outscoring opponents 84-39. In 2002, the Tide swept a doubleheader over Florida here in Tuscaloosa.
We weren't there for that. On the air.
Right, well, yeah. Hawkins fouls that one away. A ball and 2 strikes. They did the same thing to Kentucky in 2005 on this date. They also knocked off the Wildcats in 2022 on this date. It's part of the 10 times Alabama played Kentucky in 2022.
Just across a multi-year stretch. We're approximately 40 meetings.
The 1-2 pitch, low and away, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Last year on this date, the Tide beat Samford 11-2 in 5 innings here at Rhodes.
Fun.
It was a good game. It was a good time.
I have actually no recollection of that game, but I'm sure I was there.
In one way or another.
Somehow.
The 2-2 to Hawkins. Grounded. Oh, just foul. To the left of third base bag. We'll do it again. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Scoreboard update. It's gone final. Florida 5, Jacksonville 2. And on the Plains, top of the 4th, South Alabama 5, Auburn 2. Stay tuned.
Mm-hmm.
Be tracking.
It would probably be good if South scored a couple more runs.
Yes.
I'm just going to say that. 2-2 to Hawkins. Chopper to third. Beecham has it on the hop. The throw's in time, and there's 2 away.
Getting that downspin right there. Getting Hawkins to swing right on top of that. And another easy play for Jay Beecham at third.
Back to the top of the order, Audrey Vandegrift. 1 for 2 on the day. Single and scored in the first. Reach on the fielder's choice in the second. First pitch. Bunt is down but foul. 0-1.
You know, if you're Lonnie Alameda, you're saying to Ashton Danley, you're doing a really good job because Alabama's outs have been what she's wanted. 9 of the 11 outs Danley's collected have been ground balls. And of the 6 hits, 2 of them have had air on it. Everything else has just kind of been finding a spot. So if you're Alabama, you do have to, keep creating pressure, seeing that drop up.
The 0-1 is low and in. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 outs, nobody on as we play here in the bottom of the 4th inning. 2-2, Florida State and Alabama. Vandergrift gets the bunt down. It checks up. Beecham has it. The throw's not going to be in time. Perfectly deadened bunt there in front of home plate. Beecham was actually on the first base side by the time she got there. Made a good throw, but Vandergrift beat it out with a speed, her second hit of the day.
Well, and because Beecham is off balance trying to make that great throw, it doesn't have the power that it needed to get there to first. And now options, Vandergrift is stolen on a pitch out, but this game is tied now. I would go hit and run here. See if Pruitt can find center field. A lot of room out there.
First pitch is low for ball 1. It was a hit and run in the first inning before Pruitt popped out and after Vandergrift ended up stealing. But on the first pitch, it was a hit and run, and Pruitt got a hold of it, but it was foul down the right field line.
And if Danley throws a changeup, if you can wait on it just enough, look at all that room in right center.
1-0, runner goes. Pitch is low, and Vandergrift has her 3rd stolen base of the day.
Or you wait for a changeup.
Or you just do that.
You wait for a changeup knowing, I'm going to have the time. There's nothing you can do about that if you're Michaela Edenfield. Again, that's a solid throw. Better than the second one. But what do you do?
Yeah. Now Pruitt ahead in the count, 2-0. 2-0 pitch. Hits the inside edge. 2 balls and a strike. Pruitt's 0 for 2 with a pop out and a ground out. Vandergrift now with a nation's leading 37 stolen bases on the year. 3 on the day.
Let me see if Falby had any for Florida tonight.
2-1. Comes in high. 3 balls and a strike.
Kendra Falby did have 2.
Okay. Well.
So got a little closer, and then this game started. Oh, I forgot one scoreboard update.
Oh.
March Madness is here, Tom.
It is. The first 4 still going on. Congratulations, Alabama State. The 3-1 is a called strike, and the count's full 3-2.
In the 16 versus 16 matchup for the right to go play Czechs Notes Duke.
Yeah.
American and Mount St. Mary's, MSM leads with 11:26 left, 64-51 over American.
Payoff pitch to Pruitt. It's a high chopper, and it will be a throw just in time from Danley for out number 3 to retire the side. I thought that was going to get over Danley's head, at which point it would have been interesting because Vandergrift and Torres ran into each other between second and third, which threw me off. But the play was made by the pitcher.
Yeah, and a good job by Danley quickly throwing to first base. As a lefty, that's a full turn. And she made that to get the Speedy Pruitt in time for first. And Alabama, unfortunately, despite a great shot, can't answer.
For the Tide here in the 4th, no runs on a hit, no errors, and 1 left. We played 4, and it's still 2-2, Alabama and Florida State here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from their field. The fifth inning is presented by Fast Signs of Tuscaloosa. Fast Signs of Tuscaloosa is more than fast and more than signs. Request a free quote from Fast Signs for all your business visibility needs. Fast Signs of Tuscaloosa is a proud supporter of Crimson Tide softball. We head to the top of the fifth inning, tied up at 2, Alabama and Florida State. Due up for the Noles here in the fifth. It will be Danley, Torres, and Beecham. 9-1-2. Jocelyn Brisky back out now for her fifth inning of work for the Crimson Tide.
I wonder if this is her final batter. We'll see.
Ashton Danley steps in. The first pitch a little bit outside for ball one. Danley reached on a fielder's choice her first time.
Danley, when leading off an inning, reaching
that one's low, 2-0.
only 11% of the time. AKA go at her.
Yep. But the 9-hole has been an issue for Alabama.
That it has. This pitch will tell us a lot.
The 2-0. Danley with a fly ball, foul ground left-hand side. Papilla won't be able to catch up with it. 2-1. Two runs on 7 hits for Alabama, 2 runs on 4 hits for Florida State. Tide's left 6 on to Florida State's 3.
Neither team doing great with runners on situationally.
2-1 is low, 3-1. Florida State has committed 2 errors, but neither of them have cost them a run. The 3-1. That one is a fly ball to center. Vandergriff, after taking a couple steps back, will come in to make the catch for a big first out here in the fifth.
Yeah, that one just kind of deadened right off the bat. Good swing by Danley, but I think Brisky took a little off that, kind of got her off time.
Now batting is number 3, Issa Torres.
Back to the top of the order, and Issa Torres. Torres 1 for 2 on the day with a single and a pop out. First pitch. Called strike. Torres, a sophomore from Georgetown, Texas.
Second team All-ACC last year as well. First in the conference this year in hits.
The 0-1, a little bit low, 1-1.
Scoreboard update, top of the fourth. Well, South Alabama got one of the runs they needed.
There you go.
Leading Auburn 6-2, scoring that run off of S.J. Guerin. In relief.
The 1-1, low, 2-1. Two-one pitch. Torres with a fly ball to deep left field and foul ground, ranging over to make the catch is Papillo, and there's 2 away.
It's really interesting how even with the wind still blowing, not quite as hard as earlier, it doesn't seem like the ball's flying much tonight. And
heavy air. The air is kind of heavy.
Yeah, and so that one, again, similar to the last fly out, just kind of died right in foul ground.
First pitch to Jay Beecham is fouled off at the plate for strike 1. Beecham's over 2 with a couple of flyouts to center.
Another scoreboard update. Top of the third. Oklahoma 4-0 over East Texas A&M. I do not think tonight is the night.
Yeah.
The Sooners will take their first loss of the season.
Unlikely.
Would be nuts. I don't think this week is the week.
The 0-1. Little outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. I don't think on the Outbox podcast we've ever picked sweeps faster than Oklahoma and Texas series this weekend.
I mean, specifically Oklahoma, Missouri.
Right.
Poor Tigers.
The 1-1. Rise ball. She checked her swing. Did not go around. 2 balls and a strike.
Kind of, she might have gotten a piece of that.
Yeah. The 2-1. Beecham lines it to third. Ellisad makes the catch for out number 3, and just a huge 1-2-3 inning from Jocelyn Brisky there in the fifth.
I think at this point, until Florida State gets a base runner, she's Brisky, that is, staying in the game. And a couple solid hits, but not hard hits. And the hardest one was right at your third baseman. All in all, against that part of the order, great work by Brisky to give yourself a shot.
For the Seminoles, 3 up and 3 down. We stretch here in Tuscaloosa. It's 2-2, Alabama, Florida State, here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. We've stretched here in Tuscaloosa. We move to the bottom of the 5th inning. It's still 2-2, Alabama and Florida State. And as always, the 5th inning is presented by Fast Signs of Tuscaloosa. Fast Signs of Tuscaloosa is more than fast and more than signs. Request a free quote from Fast Signs for all your business visibility needs. Fast Signs of Tuscaloosa is a proud sponsor of the Crimson Tide. Due up for Alabama here in the 5th, 3-4-5, Dukeshire, Hevlin, and Papillo. Third time through the order for Alabama, facing Ashton Dantley for Florida State. And what adjustments does Alabama offensively need to make against Dantley here to try to break up this tie?
I mean, just see the ball up a little bit. You got to try and get something in the air. You know, gap-to-gap power would be nice. I've seen a lot of ground ball singles, which are good, but just a little bit more up.
First pitch is a ground ball to third, and that one eats up Beecham, but the throw from Torres is in time to get Dukeshire for out number 1.
What'd I say about Issa Torres?
Yeah.
I mean, this is a great play off of the glove of Beecham and bounces right to Torres, who is not set at all. And Dukeshire beats us out if she does not miss the bag. Tried to stretch early, and because of that was maybe a 6 inches shy of touching the bag.
That brings up Callie Hevlin. The first pitch to her is a bit outside for ball 1. I don't know. Even if she gets the bag, I don't know if she beats it out.
I think
it's gonna be close.
If she's half a step further
Closer,
along,
right? Yeah.
I think she beats it out.
The 1-0 now to Hevlin. Low and away. Two balls and no strikes. Hevlin 1 for 2 on the day. Had an RBI single back in the first, a ground out in the third.
In the last 2 innings, Alabama's had base runners, but they've all come with 2 outs. So a lot on Hevlin here. Try and start something a little earlier in the inning. Give yourself a shot.
2-0. High and tight, 3-0.
I could have sworn I heard that hit something, but maybe it was just hitting the mid of Edenfield.
Shh. If it did.
I mean, we have such a great crowd, Mike.
Right.
I picked it up instantly.
David Irwin not listening to us. The 3-0. Pulls back the bunt. It's a called strike on the outside corner, 3-1.
Certainly a called strike. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Just kidding, David. Just messing with you.
Took a swim in the river, got the call.
Yeah.
The 3-1. That's low and away for ball 4. And Callie Hevlin draws the 1-out walk. The second walk of the day issued by Danley, the first since the first inning. And now an opportunity for Lex Papillo, who had an RBI single her first time up. 1 for 2 on the day. Popped out in the third. First pitch. Called strike.
Still action in the FSU bullpen. I cannot make out who it is. But whoever it is a righty, so I'm going to guess Jazzy Francic.
The 0-1. Low and in. 1 ball, 1 strike. It is not the girl dressed in hot sauce that is getting ready to race.
No. And, you know, this is such an interesting year for Florida State because, as we talked about in the pregame interview, they really don't have a tried and true ace. They got a lot of people with the same amount of innings.
The 1-1 comes in. That hits Papillo. And Lex will take first. Does not eat the bat this time. Just lays it down gently.
A casual set down. Yeah, that was right in that gnarly spot, right below the shoulder. And it's Widra warming up for FSU. We've seen Francic and Apsell. Right now it's Annabelle Widra.
And Lauren Johnson will now run for Papillo. And I bet stay in to play left field.
That would make a lot of sense. The question is, will she be running it first and watching Brooke Elistad hit against Annabelle Widra? Because out comes Lonnie Alameda for presumably a change.
Yeah, looks like we are going to see a change in the circle For Florida State, with this call to the bullpen, we remind you that Alabama softball is brought to you by Barkley GMC, the best place to buy a vehicle in Tuscaloosa, and proud sponsors of the Crimson Tide. Visit barkleygmc.com today. Barkley makes it easy. We'll take a timeout, tell you about the new Florida State pitcher. After this, there's one out, but Alabama has runners on first and second here in the bottom of the fifth. 2-2 between the Tide and the Seminoles here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. With one out and two on here in the bottom of the fifth inning, we're tied up at 2, Alabama and Florida State. And the Seminoles bring in a new pitcher replacing Ashton Danley.
That new pitcher is the Hofstra transfer, the redshirt senior lefty, Julia Apsell. Apsell on the year, a 1.52 ERA, 9-0 record. 14th appearance, 41 and a third innings, 32 hits, 11 runs, 9 earned, 8 walks, 45 strikeouts. More velocity, more mid to high 60s from her. Curve, rise, so that's the difference, right? Upspin, 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 upspin. Alabama's got to be ready for that. Does have a change that she can work as well. And all-time in her career against SEC teams, a 3.28 ERA and an 0-3 record.
And Annabelle Wedra does enter the game, but she is playing second base, replacing Annie Potter in the circle, or excuse me, on the infield for Florida State.
Oh.
Brooke Elstead will be the batter. She's 1 for 2, doubled her last time in the third. First pitch, fouled away for strike one. Ashton Danley went 4 1/3, gave up 7 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 2 walks, and no strikeouts. 86 pitches, 48 strikes thrown by Danley. She is responsible for the 2 runners on base.
Did her job tonight for the most part. I mean, yeah, gave up a lot of hits, but got a lot of ground ball outs, didn't let too many things spiral. Pretty good performance by the sophomore.
The 0-1. Well said, fouls that one away. No balls and 2 strikes. Lauren Johnson on first, Callie Heavlin on second for Alabama. The 0-2. Outside. The ball and 2 strikes.
I love those types of 0-2 pitches. If I'm a pitching coach, because it's not a strike. I mean, that's way outside. But especially lefty on lefty, you can run that curve away. Good job at Elstad not chasing. Battle continues.
The 1-2. Swung on and missed. 4 strike 3. Elstad down on strikes, and there's 2 gone here in the fifth.
And then you can use it to set up basically the same pitch a little closer to the zone. Curveball running away from Elstad, probably a strike. And maybe a little late on the swing. But good pitch by Apsell right there.
So now with 2 outs, runners on first and second, Caitlin Riley to the plate. First pitch is high for ball 1. Riley 1 for 2 on the day, singled back in the first inning and grounded out in the third.
Lay down a bunt. Just kidding. No, it's not what you're looking for here.
She has already beat out an infield hit. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I do find the outfield alignment very interesting for Florida State because Apsell is throwing Riley in, but the outfield is shaded as if she's going to throw outside.
Right.
So if you get something into left center, look at all that room.
The 1-1. Riley fouls it away. Almost had it there, but it was a little bit too much high and inside. Showed a close-up of Patrick Murphy there, and you could read his lips. He said, "See it down." Apsel looks in, the 1-2. Fouled away again. Ball and 2 strikes.
I wonder if you're going to see a change here. Haven't seen it yet in this AB.
1-2 is outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
It's a ball. That was fully in the river. Take a look at the replay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it tried to backdoor.
It tried to leak over, but didn't quite get there. It's 2-2. Riley with a fly ball, foul ground. It will get down. Down the right field line. We'll do it again. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
They must see something in her film to align the outfield like this. Because the sequencing it would suggest you align them the opposite.
Because just an enormous,
I mean, huge
piece of real estate.
Both runs score with ease if Riley finds the left center gap.
2-2. Holds off on that one. And the count's full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. With 2 outs, the runners will get a head start here.
Caitlin Riley, you see right there if you're watching TV too, taking a deep breath. Stay on your legs. Don't forget your plan.
Now the payoff pitch. That hits the outside corner for a called strike 3. And Alabama leads a couple on here in the 5th.
Yikes. This is that curve again. Similar to the one that was called a ball, but this one does get back over. And that might have been the best pitch Riley saw right there. But, was seeing it down, probably thought it was going to be a rise high, held off, and Apsel wins a very, very good battle between 2 good players.
For the Tide here in the 5th, no runs, no hits, no errors, and 2 runners left on. We played 5. It's still 2-2 between Alabama and Florida State here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. Attention Tide fans in North Alabama and all over the state. The New Wave meet and greet with Ryan Williams and Jalen Mbakwe has been rescheduled for Saturday, March 29th at Sand Mountain Park and Amphitheater in Albertville, Alabama. Ryan and Jalen will now be at Sand Mountain Park from 2 to 3 p.m. on Saturday, March 29th to meet Bama fans, sign autographs, and pose for photos. Please mark your calendars for this new date. 2-2 Alabama, Florida State as we head to the top of the 6th inning. Kennedy Hart will lead things off for the Seminoles. The first pitch is popped up foul for strike 1. 3-4-5 due up for the Seminoles here in the 6th. Harp, Edenfield, and Dak. Jocelyn Brisky back out now for her 6th inning of work.
Have we talked about how it's taco hot sauce night yet?
A little bit,
okay.
But not, yeah.
Well, I have a question.
Okay. First the 0-1 to Harp. Called strike. 0-2.
All right, so I just heard the announcement that there have been 6 before that last one. Taco Hot Sauce races tonight, and Taco leads with 8 points.
Yes.
And I'm confused.
Because they're weighted.
Okay.
Some of the later races are worth 2 and 3 points.
I see.
Yes. The 0-2. Ground ball past a diving Hawkins into center field for a base hit. Kennedy Harp leads off the 6th inning. The Saying I single. And the Noles have leadoff man on here in the 6th.
So that's a base runner, and out comes Patrick Murphy. I think kind of what we were thinking, what I was alluding to, until there was a base runner, I think you kept Brisky in. But that's a really good piece of hitting, and let me tell you, Harp is so fast. Even if Hawkins gets to that, I'm not sure anything changes.
We'll keep it here as a new pitcher comes in for the Crimson Tide. And shout out to Jocelyn Brisky, who pitched maybe the best 5+ innings we've seen from her since maybe Clearwater.
UCLA.
Yeah, UCLA. Really, really well done against a very potent Florida State lineup here. And now she'll turn things over to a pitcher that Patrick Murphy, you and I, and pretty much anyone who's seen her in the last few weeks raving about her improvement as the season has gone along, as Ailey Johnson will take the circle.
Yeah, and this is all about confidence right now. You got to make sure you locate the hard stuff to make that change up even better. We'll see what Florida State's plan is. They got a lot of power hitters coming up. Power hitters typically aren't always starting off sitting change. We'll see if that's how it looks. On the year, Ailey Johnson, 2.47 ERA, a 1-0 record, 15th appearance, 22 2/3 innings, 16 hits, 10 runs, 8 earned, 10 walks, 24 strikeouts. Last year got the win in Tallahassee. Remember, Kayla Beaver on a play at the plate hurt her thumb.
Yeah.
So Ailey had to come on in emergency relief and went 3 1/3, 2 hits, no runs, no walks, crucially, 2 strikeouts. And in her last 4 appearances, an ERA of 1. It's going to be really, really important to see how some of these first pitches look against Edenfield. When Ailey's come into games, we've seen Lance start with the hard stuff as the pitch calls. Let's see if that's the plan here.
Michaela Edenfield is the batter. First pitch. Right in there for a called strike with the fastball.
Good.
0-1. Edenfield is 1 for 2. Single and scored in the 4th. Popped out in the 1st. Runner on first. Nobody out. Runner goes. That's low. The throw down is not going to be in time. Stolen base for Harp. Now Florida State has a runner in scoring position with nobody out here in the 6th. Line for Brisky. She went 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs. They were both earned, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, 80 pitches, 50 strikes. She is responsible for the runner now on second. 1-1 to Edenfield. Change up a little bit low, 2-1.
Really good game by Brisky. I want to make that abundantly clear. Really, really good game tonight.
The 2-1. Change up. Getting a little bit low, 3-1.
That one looked really good as it crossed the plate. It's got a lot of major down right at the end.
The 3-1. There's a strike, and the count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes on Edenfield. Johnson looks in. The payoff pitch. Change up a little bit low for ball 4, and now the Noles have runners on first and second with nobody out.
That is such a good pitch.
Patrick Murphy is trying to get David Irwin's attention to ask where those 2 pitches missed.
Now batting is number 77, Katie
And
Dow.
David Irwin will not look at him.
Well, if it's in the arsenal, I'm laying down a bunt here.
First pitch to Katie Dack. Called strike. Dack 1 for 2, struck out in the 2nd, single and scored in the 4th.
Florida State only has 4 sacrifice bunts on the season, but look at where Brooke Elistad is aligned. Behind the bag at third.
And that one is a fly ball to left center field. And gone. Audrey Vandegrift almost stole that one away, but a 3-run homer by Katie Dack gives Florida State the 5-2 lead.
Well, that's why they didn't bunt.
Yeah.
Dack on time with the changeup. And this is what happens when you're not getting chases on a couple in the at-bat prior. You bring it up a little bit, and Dack just goes to get it. Barely got out. Vandegrift, a great effort. That is maybe 6 inches over the glove.
First pitch to Hallie Waycaster. Called strike. Waycaster's 0 for 2.
And unfortunately, we got to talk about the 6th inning. Now 26 runs allowed in the sixth this year by Alabama.
Called strike, 0-2.
Tell you what, that ended
Absolutely.
the exact same spot as the change up to Edenfield
Yep.
on the 3-2.
No difference. The 0-2 skips in. 1 ball, 2 strikes. One-two pitch, grounded foul. We'll do it again, 1-2. So the final line for Brisky: 5 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, all earned, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts.
Fortunately, one of those not reflective lines.
One-two. Waycaser went too far around on the check swing, and there's 1 gone here in the 6th.
Well, it's going to be important for Ailey Johnson to quickly bounce back. Great strikeout right there. You can't let Florida State get anything else in this inning. Give yourself a little momentum if you can.
Janai Kerr checked her swing, but it was a called strike, 0-1. Kerr, 1 for 2, struck out in the 2nd, had a 2 RBI single in the 4th. The 0-1 is low, 1-1. Ground ball on 2 hops a second. Evelyn has it. Tosses it to herself from a glove to the bare hand. Makes a throw for out number 2.
Good little drip right there from Hevlin.
I don't think she did that on purpose, but it just kind of happened.
It got to her and she kept it in front of her and she was like, yeah, all right, we good.
So 2 outs, nobody on for Maya Ross. The first pitch is a called strike. Ross is 0 for 1, walked in the 3rd, grounded out in the 4th. Called strike, 0-2.
Outside of the home run pitch,
Yeah.
Ailey Johnson's looked really good in this inning.
The 0-2. Hit the outside corner for a called strike 3. And that'll do it for Florida State here in the 6th. But the Seminoles take the lead on a 3-run homer by Katie Dack. 3 runs on 2 hits, no errors, nobody left. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning, 5-2 Florida State here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Florida State with a 5-2 lead over Alabama. 6th inning brought to you by the Alabama Crimson Tide mobile app. Keep up with everything Alabama with the Alabama Crimson Tide mobile app, presented by Cadence Bank. Download it now for free at the App Store and Google Play. Alabama will look to answer back after Florida State took the 3-run lead with a 3-run homer in the 6th. With Giles, Hawkins, and Vandegrift due up 8-9-1. Julia Apsel out now for her first full inning of relief. Giles steps in, 0 for 2 on the day with a couple of ground outs. First pitch from the Seminole lefty is high for ball 1.
Out of the Box Podcast scoreboard update. You were right. And Anna Wooler's grand slam ties the game for Auburn, 6-6, bottom 5.
That one comes in low. 2 balls and no strikes. Couple of defensive changes for the Seminoles here. DeLong is your new right fielder, replacing Waycaser. And Bueno is your new first baseman, replacing Ross.
See these normally for the Noles, so that makes sense. Usually about this time of the game.
The 2-0. Called strike, 2-1. And last inning, Lauren Johnson did stay in the ball game, play left field, as we thought. The 2-1. A little outside, 3-1.
Alabama's not had the leadoff reach since the second inning in this game. Would really go a long way if Giles can find a way on. Don't try and press.
3-1. Fouled straight back. The count is full, 3-2. Also Alabama, 7 hits on the day, but 4 of those came back in the first inning.
Yeah.
Payoff pitch. Giles fouls it off. It's a piece of the plate, stays alive. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, Marley this year has not had the first half of the season that she's wanted. But you can turn it around real quick with something, anything, right here in this big moment.
Another 3-2. Giles fouls it off again. Might have chased ball 4 there.
I thought so as well. Looked like a rise high and in. I mean, the thing Alabama's done really well tonight, the pitchers have worked, man. I mean, Florida State, you know, about to throw, or they're well over 100 combined as a staff here in this game.
20th pitch of relief about to be thrown by Apsel here. 8th pitch of the at-bat. Grounded to second. Weidra is there. She makes a stop in the throw for out number 1.
Hard shot right at the second baseman. Kind of the first outside-ish pitch that Giles got that was somewhat hittable.
And Alabama's going to send up a pinch hitter here. Maddie Hubbard grabs the bat, and she'll hit for Salem Hawkins.
Hubbard on the year, 8 of 24, 333 average, 8 RBIs, a triple. What I really like and why I like this move, the 484 OBP thanks to 7 walks. So you got to make sure against a pitcher like Apsel, who's going to throw a lot around the zone, you're not chasing anything. Try and get something started here in the 6th.
Hawkins was 1 for 2 on the day with a single. First pitch is high for ball 1.
Scoreboard update, that game in Birmingham did go final. Mississippi State 8, UAB 4.
Osako did not get the cycle.
Did not. 3 for 5, missing the homer.
The 1-1 popped foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. Did UAB podcasters not read stats to fire him up?
I don't know.
Enough?
Guess not.
The 1-1. Hubbard fouls it away toward the Bama clubhouse. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
It's very interesting that Absol has not gone with the changeup pretty much at all since she threw one against Brooke Elistad.
Yeah, it's been all hard stuff.
Yeah, everything rise and curve, rise and curve. She tunnels it very well, though.
1-2. Hubbard holds off on that one. It's outside, 2-2.
That one a little bit closer than the one earlier, but I still think backdoored in just a hair late.
The 2-2. Hubbard holds off on that one. It's high, and the count moves to 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Man, battle, baby, battle. I mean, so many pitches in this inning against 2 batters for Julia Absol. Got to pay it off, though. You know, you're working the count. You're doing what you have to do. It's got to lead to something.
3-2. Hubbard with a blooper. That's going to be caught by Torres at short for out number 2. There's too many of those battling at bats have ended like that.
Alabama's had a lot of full counts tonight, and have not been able to pay it off. Just the 2 walks drawn. Got to keep talking. Got to make the adjustment.
Back to the top of the order, Audrey Vandergriff, who's had a good day, 2 for 3 with a couple of singles, a run scored, 3 stolen bases. First pitch, fouled away for strike 1.
Wind is now shifted a little bit more straight right to left as opposed to out.
That's fouled off. 0-2. We mentioned earlier, talked about it a lot, Alabama heading to Texas A&M this next weekend for SEC play. Florida State, a big series with Duke coming up next.
Yeah, this is probably one of the 2 or 3 major ACC deciding series that involves Florida State. Got my eye on the other one at Virginia Tech at the very end of the year.
The 0-2 is high, 1 ball, 2 strikes. And that is at Duke.
The ACC schedule is not a cakewalk for the ACC.
No.
For Florida State. Their road series are Duke, Cal, Louisville, and Virginia Tech. Louisville might be the easiest of those 4. And, well, I mentioned Duke.
The 1-2, fouled away again.
Losing count of how many 4 is in my head. Whoops.
We're leaving for College Station in like 10 hours.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to be showing up at your house in 12 hours and 4 minutes. Ish.
Great. Bring breakfast. The 1-2 is popped up on the infield. Left-hand side, Beecham will make the catch for out number 3. And Alabama, for the first time today, goes down in order here in the 6th inning.
Yeah, bad timing for that. And, you know, you did a lot of good work in that inning, but just couldn't quite put it all together. Now you got to hold Florida State where they are. You're going to have the heart of the order due up in the bottom of the 7th, but that deficit cannot increase at all. It's got to stay where it is.
No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. We head to the 7th, 5-2 Florida State here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from their field. We head to the 7th inning. Florida State with a 5-2 lead over Alabama. Due up for the Noles here in the 7th. Weidra, Torres, and Beecham 9-1-2. Haley Johnson back out now for her first full inning of relief, and this is brought to you by the weekend warm-up. If you love behind-the-scenes stories from Coach Murphy, you won't want to miss the weekend warm-up on Select Fridays this season. Inspired by Nick at Noon, the softball edition at Baumhauer's Victory Grill features a lunch buffet, Alabama softball bingo, a panel with Team 29 players and alumni, and unforgettable insight from Coach Murphy. Check out Alabama softball's social media pages for more details as the next weekend warm-up coming up next weekend, next Friday, before the Georgia series. The first pitch to Annabelle Weidra is a bit outside for ball one. Weidra on the year, batting .279, 12 of 43, 5 runs scored with a double, 4 triples, a home run, and 15 runs driven in. Called strike there, 1-1 on the Auburn transfer.
And in her career against the Tide, Weidra 1 for 6 with an RBI and a couple strikeouts.
That one comes in high, 2-1. Ceylon Hawkins did re-enter the ball game. She's there at short. That pitch is a little outside, 3-1.
So far, you've done a pretty good job against the 9-hole tonight.
The 3-1. Line to third, Elisad snags that one for out number 1.
And reacts.
Yes.
Good work by Brooke, getting the glove up there, if anything, to save her face. I mean, this is on a line by Weidra. That might have gone right over the head. But Brooke Elistad has played a really good game at third tonight.
Issa Torres steps in. The first pitch drops in for a called strike. Torres is 1 for 3, singled back in the first inning. Pop out and a fly out since. The 0-1's a high chopper to second. Stop made by Evelyn. She'll shovel past it to first, and there's 2 away.
Yeah, I mean exactly what I said in the top of the 6th. The changeup was a little elevated that Dak hit out of the yard. Outside of that, Haley Johnson's been pretty sharp tonight. But when you're playing a top 10 team, even the one mistake, that might be the thing that kills you.
Oh. Something has flown onto the field and center.
What is that?
And it was a shoe? Who throws a shoe,
Kids.
honestly?
Kids. It's shoe.
Watch for the shoe. First pitch to Jay Beecham is low for ball 1. Beecham's 0 for 3.
Was it last year in the opener when there was like a shoe incident, the first batter of the game or something? I have the GoPro somewhere. We're laughing about it.
Okay, the 1-0 is in there for a strike. I have no recollection. Again, when you reach a certain age.
Do you remember who Jay Beecham is?
That I do.
Okay.
The 1-1. Missed outside, 2-1. So Jay Beecham, as a rising freshman, played in the FGCL.
Yes.
Missed 2/3 of the season because she had a class she couldn't miss at Florida State. That one is going to be through for a base hit into left field. But still, led several categories.
I think she was second in the league in RBIs.
Right.
Her OPS was over 2,000.
Ridiculous.
Now batting number 23, Kennedy Hart.
And she keeps the inning alive with a 2-out single for Kennedy Harp, who got that 6th inning started with a leadoff single. 1 for 3 on the day with a run scored. The first pitch is in there for a strike. The 0-1. Grounded foul. No balls, 2 strikes.
Final. OU did indeed run rule East Texas A&M 8-0 in 5. End of list.
That strength of schedule for Oklahoma.
Not helped tonight. I'll look up where East Texas A&M is.
Oh. The 0-2. Bit high, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Keep scrolling.
Notice how I am still going. There were 258 in the RPI, Tom. So the win hurts. The game hurts.
The 1-2 pitch There's a called strike 3. Harp set down on strikes, and the 2-out single doesn't come around for Florida State, and Haley Johnson does her job here in the 7th.
Yeah, that's a nice little screwball outer part of the plate that works back in exactly where it's supposed to be. And now look, yes, you're down 3, but get the tying run to the plate, give yourself a shot. You know what you're seeing, upspin from Absol. Let's go to work. Why not? I mean, shoot, your heart's been broken so many times this year. Why not break some of your own?
For the Seminoles in the 7th, no runs on a hit, no errors, and 1 left. We head to the bottom of the 7th inning. Last chance for the Crimson Tide. It's 5-2 Florida State here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from the airfield. We head to the bottom of the 7th inning, the last chance for Alabama. It is Florida State 5, Alabama 2. A 3-run homer by Katie Dack is the difference that came in the 6th inning. 2-3-4 due up for the Crimson Tide here in the 7th. Starting off with a pinch hitter, Kendall Clark will bat to start things off. Clark, Duchscher, and Hevlin due up for the Crimson Tide. And as you said, Gray, get the tying run to the plate. Give yourself a chance here in the 7th inning.
Patrick Murphy looking at the stats. Larissa Pruitt's batting average significantly lower against lefties, was 0 for 3 tonight, so you put in a righty. Going with Kendall Clark.
Clark batting .333 on the season. 6 of 18. The first pitch is popped up on the infield. The catch is made by Torres, and there's one away.
It's that curveball again on the hands. I mean, this is what Brisky was doing to the the Florida State batters. Absol just jams Clark, and you're trying to get the hands there, but fortunately couldn't.
So 1 out. That brings up Abby Duchscher. 0 for 2 on the day. Walked and scored back in the 1st. First pitch, Duchscher pops it foul for strike 1.
I need Rhodes to get up just a little bit more.
The 0-1.
Oh.
Duchscher fouls it off on a check swing. No balls and 2 strikes.
And, I understand it's 5-2, but you're in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah.
And everybody got up for a minute to do a cheer, and then everyone sat back down. That's not really what you want to see. Anything that you can do to help, you got to do.
The 0-2. Duchscher holds off on this one. It's a bit outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Two again outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Absol looks in, the 2-2 pitch. Duchscher takes it high and tight, 3-2.
I should not hear more Florida State fans than I do Alabama fans. Another full count. Can you pay it off?
The payoff pitch to Dukeshire is crushed foul.
Oh.
And we'll do it again. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Tom.
Man,
I mean, this.
it got over the clubhouse.
I mean, look at it.
It's on top of the. Oh, wow.
It's on top of the heating and cooling system on top of the clubhouse.
Goodness gracious. I haven't seen many balls up in that area. Another 3-2. Oh, goodness. That hit the outside corner somewhere thereabouts. For out number 2, and the Tide's down to their final out. That has not been a strike all day.
No, that's really bad.
That's not
That's
good.
exactly the same pitch he's been calling a ball
Yep.
for this exact same pitcher all night long.
So Bama down to their final out now with Callie Hevlin at the plate, 1 for 2 on the day with a RBI single and a walk. First pitch. Skied, foul ground, right-hand side, and unable to make the catch is DeLong. Everyone came together and then separated, and DeLong couldn't keep up with it, and Alabama has another life. The 0-1. Evelyn pops this one up again, foul ground, first base side, and it will get out of play on top of the Florida State dugout, but now Alabama is down to their final strike. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, nobody on here in the 7th. Bama down 3. The 0-2. Evelyn fouls that one off. Stays live at 0-2.
She got to keep battling. Alabama's got 3 2-out hits in this game. Junior's looking for any type of shot, anything that can get the tying run to the plate.
The 0-2.
That's
the same pitch that was called strike 3 on Abby Dukeshire.
Tom, that one's better. That one is a better pitch.
It's a ball here.
That's even a little
As
bit
it
more
should
in.
have been, right.
Yeah.
The 0-2. Low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Florida State is not winning the game because of the strike zone.
Right. But
It certainly has not helped Alabama.
well, it's an unfortunate time for it to shrink
Yeah.
and then expand and then shrink.
Yeah. The 2-2. Foul back. Evelyn stays alive. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Scoreboard update, top of the 7th, Auburn and South Al tied at 6 still.
Two pitch. Evelyn swings and misses. Foul tips in the glove on the rise ball for strike 3, and the Crimson Tide in the 6th and 7th innings go down 1-2-3 after Florida State took the 3-run lead. And that's the ball game. Final score, Florida State 5, Alabama 2. With the win, Florida State improves to 26-5 overall. They're now on a 6-game win streak. Alabama falls to 21-10 overall. They've lost 2 in a row, and doesn't get any easier for the Crimson Tide. Alabama heading to Texas A&M next, and had a chance here in this ball game, but couldn't generate anything offensively after the first inning. as 5 runs on 7 hits, 2 errors, and 4 left for Florida State. 2 runs on 7 hits, no errors, and 8 runners left for Alabama. Julia Apsel is the winning pitcher. She's now 10-0 on the year. Jocelyn Brisky takes the loss. They're now 9-8 on the season, and just a tough one today because we asked for Alabama to play a clean game. They did.
They did.
0 errors, very limited walks, the Crimson Tide, but after the first inning, it was the Alabama offense that faltered here today.
Yeah, it's just a bummer because Alabama did do, like you said, everything we wanted. You know, the defense was really good tonight, made a lot of plays. Brisky gave you a really good start. Ailey Johnson gave you a really good relief appearance, except for one pitch. But unfortunately, when you're playing a top 10 team, that one pitch can be the difference. And that's now 5 losses this year for Alabama when leading or tied after 5 innings.
Yeah.
The 6th inning issues popped up again. I thought the offensive game plan against Danley was pretty good, but there were a few things that we talked about that kind of stuck out. A lot of Alabama's hits were finding spots, but they weren't necessarily what you want to see to tell you they're getting to that drop ball pitcher.
Yeah.
There were a lot of ground balls, you know, through the 5-6 hole, through the 3-4 hole, stuff like that, which you'll take. But, yeah, this one's a little puzzling and definitely disappointing because Alabama did everything that I had in my head to win tonight, and they didn't.
Yeah.
And that stinks because that makes this weekend much more significant if it wasn't already big. And it also, I think, hopefully doesn't deter the team from continuing to buy in. But, like, this is kind of a gut punch because Alabama was ready tonight, and it just didn't happen. And now you got to figure out why and get ready for Texas A&M this weekend.
Take a timeout, come back with the Alabama softball postgame report right after this. Florida State, a 5-2 winner over Alabama here on the Crimson Tide Sports